Hi, I'm Matt Navin.
And I'm Chris Ormando, and this installment of Strife and Nations, the explanation series, we're going to talk about missions. Now, the original scope of Strife and Nations was that we wanted to facilitate a battle, and the way we did that was that we took several flags, each with several ways to denote ownership, and we placed them in critical locations throughout the camp. Which was like things like bridges or passways or high ground, and the game was structured around basic capture the flag. You know, however captured the battlefield in the most sections at the most times won the day.
Now, this was a pretty good way to start out the game, and it gave us definitely a good feel for, generally like the ebb and flow of a weekend and how teams can kind of go back and forth between the lead and catch up. But what was happening was it was just sort of shallow gameplay. There wasn't really that much to it, and it just kind of got boring after a little bit. So we started to look at different ways that we can kind of spice it up by, putting hostage taking missions in there, looting base camps, trying to take out the enemy's commander, that sort of stuff. And we actually found that this is where people were getting engaged with the game the most. Not only was it a variation in gameplay, but it was a chance for people to really get in character. It wasn't just capture the flag, it was actually you as your warband out there trying to actively interfere with the other warbands and the way that they were able to, facilitate their war camp in the actual game.
Because that's really the scope of it, is the fact that you're your own microcosm of the game. You have your nation, and you're fighting for your mission, but they have their missions too. And you either have to stop them or get yours done and then stop them. And they're trying to do the same thing to you. So if you were to make an alliance with someone, which we're not saying you can or can't do, it's up to you. It's up to the player to decide how to do that. But at the end of the day, you can only have one winner, and you want to win, and you want to reap the benefits from that. And if you strike an alliance with another nation, you have to worry about who's going to draw the knife first. You have to worry about who's going to strike that that last blow before they actually end up losing or tying.
Right. So when you have the missions out there, you can work with your war camp. You can temporarily work with other war camps if it's not too contrary. Whatever you as players decide to go out there and do, and whatever you guys as players can agree to. There's a couple different levels of missions that vary in significance and impact the actual storyline, ranging from things that can really shift the whole focus of the year-long campaign to something that's just going to keep your war camp viable out there in the field. But what really makes missions so important to Strife of Nations, and what really makes Strife of Nations so different in regards to these missions, is that everything is really out there for the players to do. You have the vast majority of these, you will see literally just interaction with other players. You're always going to be working as a war camp with people on your team. But most of the times it's going to be, capture so many supplies from the Nazari, or capture the authority commander and gather information. This sort of thing. Occasionally you'll see NPC support, non-player characters from staff out there, but it's only to just kind of drive it along. It's never there to hold your hand, to take you to a particular mod site to unwind or anything else like that. It's just you as players out there interacting, and the staff and the NPCs just end up being kind of tools to tell the story that you're building and working on with it.
We enable you to play the game.
Right.
That's what we're there for. We're not there to hold your hand, as Matt said. We're not there to take you by the nose and drag you along the storyline. You have the mission.
You have the story.
Where you take it is up to you.